The latest research from BNEF shows that EV sales slow, but still stay over 20%. Okay, so they're slowing. How do you think about the next catalyst from here? Is the hype going to meet reality, or is that dead on the vine?
What I'd say is that we're really watching this Tesla earnings pretty closely, given that Tesla saw a decline in deliveries about 9% year on year at the global level, and regionally, Tesla doesn't give that breakdown. So if anything, we want to see what direction Tesla's looking at as it pertains to the US. That cheaper Tesla model is really important. If you take the cheapest Model Y today, which is around $36,000 with the IRA, Inflation Reduction Act tax credit, there's about 30% of sales last year that happened below that point. So what that means is Tesla needs to really change its game in the near term. And without that cheaper model, they're going to have to do something innovative. There's concern that they might just focus on the robotaxi during today's call. But if they want to really be growing in the EV space, they need to be bringing on more new models or lowering that upfront cost.
Well, the problem, though, is that what you just said, I mean, that's not like a quick thing to do. I mean, no, innovation, particularly even with robotaxis, I mean, if you believe Elon that this is actually closer to reality than not. Right. But, let's face it, you have to take everything he says with a grain of salt. So it gets to the point here as to what does Tesla really want to be? Because at first it seemed like they were kind of a luxury car maker. Right. Then they said, well, we're going to go down the price scale, basically be everything to everybody. And then now, at least based on his public comments, they seem to be walking that back.
You're kind of caught in between two different strategies.
Yeah.
Right? You were originally seen as a kind of BMW or Mercedes competitor. Then you're aiming to compete with a Toyota, like a Camry or Honda Accord. You stop right before you get to that price point of the $25,000 to $30,000 car. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that Tesla can't get around there, but there needs to be a lot more clarity about the direction they're actually aiming to go in. And if you just shoot for the robotaxi, we have other companies like Waymo out there that have been testing robotaxis for a long time. That's a completely different business model. So when it comes to kind of an analyst perspective, Tesla really hasn't given much clarity in the past 6 months. And if anything, the kind of exit of some high-profile employees shows they might be moving in a drastically different direction.
Just so we're clear and our viewers are clear, so when he talks about the robotaxi, where's that revenue coming from? Where are these things being sold, or at least where would they be sold?
I mean, that's a big policy question, right? Yeah. You have to have these robotaxis approved in many different markets.
Yeah.
For robotaxis today, you really see a sense of, California, Arizona. But again, there's a lot of kind of steps to get approval there.
Yeah.
And that's a different business model than selling electric vehicles.
Yeah, and it's not even the whole state. It's just like a couple of cities.
Like a San Francisco.
Yeah.
You have to go through. So in terms of, that'd be a big shift from kind of moving down the kind of EV ladder towards more and more consumers. And in one last point, in terms of the short-term turnaround, right, with only the Model 3 and Model Y being high volume, how do you become a growth company again if you aren't making big changes to introduce more models?